So this is a Toyota FJ Cruiser, 2007 Toyota FJ Cruiser, and the installation on this one should be the same as it is on every other. Installation will be the same on every other Toyota FJ Cruiser, and it should be similar on every other Toyota car, but not really exactly like this. That's made for a CD player, so you can stick it in, but I didn't want to stick it in the CD player, so I added spacers so I could stick it in there. But for the Toyota FJ Cruiser on the radio removal, you have the screws down there and a screw down here. Once you remove these two screws, you lift up there. So I'm just gonna do that really quick. Okay, once those two screws are removed and you've placed them in an area where you won't lose them, which I'm using the cup holder, then you lift up on these two pieces of trim. So you see the snaps come up in the upward direction. You don't have to use any screwdrivers or pry tools so that you don't damage any of the plastic trim. So I try to not use that stuff. So now you have this plastic bezel piece, which I'm going to have to remove this because you have to lift this off of the radio. Those pieces. That's out. I don't think there are any below. Looks like I'm good. Now there are some wires behind this, so you can undo these clips. They're just for the AC controls, but it's not necessary for you to have to remove those. Now you need a 10mm for this to remove the brackets for the radio. Whether it's a factory radio or whether you have an adapter in for, in this case I've got a Sony radio, but you still need to use the 10mm. You have to loosen the 10mm. Now you don't want to drop those. If you drop those, they're going to go down behind here. And if you do, I do have a removal video on removing this whole center console with the shifter and everything. So you can click through to that video if you do drop screws, some of these 10mm bolts down there. Hopefully you don't drop them, but if you do, you're going to just spend another 15 minutes taking this apart to get to to those bolts. But try not to drop those. I've got my 10mm ratchet here. Now these shouldn't be crazy tight, so I'm just loosening that, and that, and that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Didn't drop them. Set them up there. That way they're out of the way. Now, just for now, I'm just going to connect this and just make sure that it does work. I'm going to go through and do the backup camera stuff in a second. I'm running out of daylight, so I'm going to have to finish that up tomorrow. No. That plugs in. Then I have a GPS adapter wire that I've got to run, or the GPS signal wire that I've got to run that is. And then when connecting the radio to the car, whenever you buy the radio, it will come with this little wire adapter that connects to their radio. And most of the time, 90% of the time, you will have to buy this little section of wires to connect to their little harness portion. As you can see, the one that I bought lines up with the wire colors. This is their standard wire colors. The makers of the radio and the makers of these harnesses try to follow these specific wire colors, so you're really just matching up the wire colors. This plugs into my factory wire harness, and this plugs into the radio. The radio that I just installed today, it came with its own one of these, so it came ready to plug straight into the factory wire harness. So it had this, and it had this, and this was already connected, about this long. But with this one, I had to wire it together. You can use butt connectors, and what I did is I soldered each wire individually and put a clear heat shrink tubing over the wire. So a lot more sturdy connection. It's airtight, so no air gets in there and nothing can off. But you can use a butt connector also. Those do the job. It's just this is far more sturdy and far more reliable. The installation of the trim and everything, it's basically just the reverse of everything that I showed when I was pulling it out. There's nothing special about that. The switch panel that's beneath the radio, if you do have to pull that out for whatever reason, for running wires and things like that, I've got a video I'm going to have pop up in the bottom of this video, and I'll also have a link down in the description if you want to click that and visit that. But it's basically just like 5-10 minutes of me pulling out the entire center console of the FJ Cruiser, to include the switches, just to get down there. But that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, check out my other videos. I've got videos more on the wiring on this, and like how I set up everything, and those videos are down in the description. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and God bless.